Hi, readers. Welcome back to my channel, Books, Ink, and Paper. It is a book chat day or a life chat day or both. So it's been a little while since I've done one of these, I think. And I just noticed, some things accumulate in my thoughts. And so I guess then I feel like it's time to have a book chat. I have been enjoying the summer with a little bit of time off here and there and spending some time with my family, particularly my grandchildren. And I've also been mindful of, a lot of things that I think I'm noticing are happening for me. I'm super busy this summer work-wise, which is great. And I am absolutely not complaining about that at all. For those of you who don't know that about me, I am a professional coach and I work with executives, leaders, business owners, pretty much anybody who really wants a coach. And if I'm a good fit for them, but usually in fairly medium to large size companies or small to medium size self-employed, business owners. So it has been incredible. And some days I don't get out of my chair for a while. Like I have typically 45-minute sessions. And so I'll get up every 15, after the 45 minutes are up, I'll get up for 15 minutes and kind of walk around and get water and do what I need to do to stretch. But literally I'm sitting sometimes in my chair for, 5 to 6 hours on some days. And that is a lot of sitting. So no wonder my back really does have days that are great and days that are not so great. I did finish physical therapy, which did not seem to really help me much at all. And when I was getting to the end of my sessions, the guy that was kind of in charge, said, "Well, how do you think you're doing? Any better?" And I was like, "Nope, not really." And he said, "Okay, well, do you want to continue the sessions or do you feel like you want to do some work on your own?" And I said, "Yeah, I feel like continuing is not for me right now." And he said, "Yeah, I was going to recommend that you do that at home." Now, I'm not knocking physical therapy in any way. So if you're a physical therapist or you're in a relationship with a physical therapist, don't get me wrong. I just didn't feel like this particular place was a good fit for me, honestly, in a number of ways. And I will say this, I think that I could have stretched myself literally and metaphorically a little bit more in between sessions, even though I was going twice a week. But there are some things I could have done differently and I didn't for whatever reason. But there were times that I went in there that I was in so much pain that I could barely do the exercises that they were giving me to do. There was one week where the guy gave me I had a different person every time too. He gave me a massage that hurt so bad I cried out. He was pushing so hard on these like pressure points. And so generally speaking, it was not a great experience. However, let me get up and get this for you. This has led me to, I got my Disney shirt on today. This has led me to reaffirming my desire and need to read this book because I do think that there is something to be learned from my own self-discovery and the work that I need to do on my own. So I've had this for a while. I've talked about it before. It's time to really take a look at this. I mean, there's one that says our aching backs. I mean, and look at that's like that is me. I'm the scream, right? Uh, I've had back pain for 3 months. It hurts when I sit. It hurts when I stand. It hurts when I walk. It does not always hurt when I walk. What's interesting is it hurts more when I sit too much. And I realized that this weekend when I was doing something that I'm going to talk about in a minute, that I really did notice that I didn't have back pain for a big part of that day. And when I'm like cleaning and things, I'm not feeling like I have back pain until I sit down, until I stop. So I don't know what that means, but it also means for me, I need to get this back pain under control because I'm so tired of it. I can't even tell you how long I've had it, so long that I can't even remember. After the complaining comes the joy, right? The things I've been doing that have brought me to some joy. I have a group of women that connect to just are like-minded women we've discovered, and we have kind of some, I guess, high sensitivity to life and to situations in life. And we also have a desire to be with people. We all love books. It's kind of how we all met each other to some degree, is because we were connected to this particular bookstore, and the owner of that bookstore started the group. And so we go out to lunch or dinner once a month, and sometimes we go on outings together. And we're actually going to start doing a volunteer project a couple times a year too, I think. But we were having dinner the other night, and I was just recognizing that there are a few places where I feel really at peace and at home with ease. Like I sometimes feel at peace and at home in different situations, but I also feel like I have to be mindful of what I'm going to say next, or what I'm thinking or feeling, or, just it's something sort of takes me out of full presence with people. But in this particular case, I feel really, really present with these women, and I really enjoy that time. And actually, it's not all women either. We have a couple of guys that join us now and again, but I had a really good time. And I was really noticing that I do have a desire to be in community with people. And so, for that reason, I also said yes to going to a book club with my youngest daughter in the city. So I actually went to the city 3 times in 2 weeks, which is very unusual for me, because I'm just not usually in need, unless I'm working out there, which I haven't done for a number of years. I don't typically have to go into New Orleans that many times. But this particular time, I went for our little free library day. And then I went to help her set up her classroom last weekend, brought my granddaughter with me, and the 4 of us, including her husband, kind of took to her brand new classroom and started to put things away and get things done. And then she had invited me to this book club that I actually kind of forgot about till right before it was happening. And I started to read the book right after we set up her classroom. So I'll talk about the book in a wrap up, but I went to her book club last night, and it's a national book club. I think it's called The Gloss. If that's wrong, I will put a title in correcting it. And they have chapters all over, I guess, the US, and they provide you with a number of questions to prompt the discussion, which we didn't really need, but we used them, a number of them. And they also provide you with a book to read for the next book club event. And then they give away one copy of that book to somebody who's participating in that evening's sessions and discussions. So I met nice, like-minded people there, and I enjoyed the discussion of the book. I found that most of us had the same feelings about the book. We all kind of had the same challenges with it and the same things that we really liked, which was interesting to me. I enjoyed being at this restaurant I had never been to. If you ever go to New Orleans, there's this I'm going to put a picture of it in here. There's this historic home. It's now called the Chloe, and it is great food, really unique drinks and appetizers. I had the best blueberry hand pie I have ever eaten in my entire life. And I had a bite of Megan's ice cream sandwich, which was also the best ice cream sandwich I've ever had in my entire life. I cannot wait to go back to the Chloe. Like, I want this book club to meet there every single month, and I want to go, which I could do, but I don't know that I'm going to drive into the city. And I have to spend the night because I can't drive in the dark. I really enjoyed it. I realized that I am not going to book clubs as often either. And I could do, because there are several here that are run by my friend who created this community of like-minded women as well. So I'm thinking about that. Like, what stops me, other than driving in the dark, what stops me from going to book clubs? And because it's summer, it is light a little bit longer. So perhaps I could make it as long as I, left before, like Cinderella, before the clock strikes dark. Because I don't talk about books with people other than virtually with all of you in comments. And Lisa, my partner, does not love to talk about books. I may have said that before. It's fine. It's just her thing. She doesn't do it. I recognize that I really like being in person with people again, and that I've been virtual for so many years now. Even before I started coaching full time, there is a part of me that is very happy to be alone and virtual with my clients and other coaches and just, at home with my dogs and my cat. There's also another part of me that might really need and crave that human connection now and again. All right, what am I currently reading? I just finished an audiobook for the book club, so right under the wire of that meeting, and that was a July read for me because I finished it before the end of July. I am currently reading this Behemoth called Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I am this far in, not far. I was prioritizing the other one for the book club, but also I have been really, really busy with these trips back and forth to the city. I don't really know that I want to listen to this because when I listen to fantasy, I sometimes can get really easily distracted for some reason. And I also have heard mixed feelings about whether you should read it or listen to it. I have several friends in either camp solidly. I can listen to it, though. I do have access to it on Scribd. I'm pretty sure I didn't purchase it, so it must be Scribd. But if you don't know, let me just briefly say it is maybe one of the most hyped books I can remember in a long time. I feel like it's even more hyped than Harry Potter because I don't remember Harry Potter being unavailable for months at a time. And this one still is unavailable in the US. I got this from Blackwell's. For those of you who watched that other video and wondered, no, I did not get the sprayed edges. I suspect this is the second edition that was published in the UK. I don't know that the second edition is out in the US. I will say that when we were talking about this book last night at the book club, many of them had not heard of it, surprisingly. So there are people on the planet that have not. One of the girls at the table is about to start a job at a library. She looked into the library's catalog while we were sitting there. She said there were 299 people on the list for this book, on the wait list. The library had 49 copies in stock. I don't know that I've ever heard of that many people. I worry a lot that this will not live up to that hype. I worry that I am the hype girl that will buy it because everybody's talking about it and I must have it. But I am also the girl that then sometimes says, oh, it was okay. So I'm getting into it slowly but surely. I think part of the issue currently is that I don't have dedicated time to sit down and read it, but also I'm not doing anything this weekend that I know of. So I'm really hoping that I can kind of immerse myself in this for a good solid few hours and maybe even knock it out. But I'm not that girl that's read it in 1 or 2 days. And there are people like that. I've noticed I've had a lot of throat issues lately, which I think are related to allergies. And in fact, my tone of voice is sometimes way lower than it normally would be. I've had to drink a lot of water. I've been having to take some cough drops. So I think that that's a casualty of this weather. Let's talk about what I'm not going to read in the month of August, because this is important for me to declare. I am noticing that I am growing weary of thrillers. I know. I know. It's almost like I'm a creature of habit in a lot of ways, and I typically eat the same thing every single morning. I have discovered recently that thrillers are making me kind of yawn, and that's not normal for me. And I think that is a result of me being overly saturated by the same genre. Maybe you've had the same experience as I'm having now. I think thrillers and I need to take a little break. I don't think this is a permanent break. Much like Rachel and Ross, I feel like this will be a break that I end up ending at some point and going back to that relationship. But for now, I am discovering that I am kind of rolling my eyes at them in some cases. I am predicting what's going to happen in some cases, or I am praying that they don't take that predictable road in other cases. I'm just kind of bored with them. And that's not like me. And I truly think it is because I have overindulged. So my goal for August is that I am not going to read thriller during the entire month. I really do think that it's in my best interest because I have so many thrillers on my shelves to let this go for a little bit, to take a break. Having said that, I'm driving home today from the city and I'm stopping at the Starbucks and I'm listening to the Currently Reading podcast, and they start talking about, and I don't know if this was the Patreon or the podcast, I think it was a podcast. They start talking about The Whispers. Meredith listened to or read The Whispers by Ashley Audrain. And I have it. I purchased it last month, I think, from Book of the Month, and it just came out. And I was sitting there in the drive-thru at the Starbucks thinking, oh my God, I really do want to read this one. And then I thought, no, because in the current mood I'm in, it's very possible that The Whispers will just be a meh for me, as several of them have been. And it's not that they're not well written, and it's not like other people aren't really loving them. I think it's me. In this particular relationship, it's me. I think it's me. I'm perfectly poised because I have this fantasy and I have Legends and Lattes on the queue. I have this nonfiction that I might get to. I have a number of books behind me. I have some historical fiction. I have my 5-star predictions that are included other than Fourth Wing. I have some contemporary fiction. I mean, it's not like I don't have non-thrillery books. I think I just need a reset. I think I just need a level reset to a playing field that is full of families and connections and stories about people. And while I have a lot in August that I'm anticipating, only a couple of them are thrillers, really, that I would probably read right away. And I think I can wait. I think I can just be patient. And I think I mentioned this in my wrap up with my book haul, I'm also going to really be careful about what I'm hauling. Having said that, I have already purchased 2 books that will arrive today, but one of them Lisa really wanted, and I, of course, agreed that I would read it, but I'm going to count that as hers, even though I'll probably haul it with you. And one of the reasons that this came to my mind, too, was that we went to the movies on Sunday and we watched for 3 hours. We watched Oppenheimer. I really did want to watch it. I did want to see it. It's a topic that I'm very interested in. I also wasn't sure that I was up to 3 hours of Oppenheimer, and I was tired. And I'd been setting up Megan's classroom the day before, and I was like, I could just read, But we agreed we wanted to go see a movie together, and we went to see it. And oh my God. Oh, you guys, that might be one of my favorite movies of all time, honestly. Now, I want to see it again because I want to make sure that I'm not like I don't know, that I'm not just like sort of falling in love with someone at first sight and then later saying, oh, you have a lot of flaws that I didn't notice that first time. But I really don't think so. I think this may be one of the best movies of this season. Now, of course, we had a choice between Barbie and Oppenheimer and The Haunted Mansion. And The Haunted Mansion really is intriguing me as well. But in terms of this particular story and the way that they told it and the acknowledgement of what happened within him as he was creating this science, and he was bringing these thought leaders together to discover how they could create an atomic bomb that could end the war or the world if it didn't go well, which was clearly a risk. The way that it showed his real life, the way that it showed the turmoil that he felt within him about a number of things in his life, including this particular Manhattan Project. I just can't tell you. And the actors in it, it was just like boom after boom after boom after boom. Like I knew some of the people that were in it, but when I would see them, when I saw, like, I was sitting there watching Truman, who looked very much like Truman. And in my mind, I was like, I know who that is. Who is that? I know that is. They were those people. They embodied those characters. And it was incredible. And then currently we're finishing up the last season of Outlander very soon. So we've been watching that each week. I'm not as much of a fan of Outlander, the TV series, as I am of Outlander, the series of books. And we've also been watching Hijack with Idris Elba on Apple TV, which I'm enjoying. And I don't think that that's based on a book. I also have been watching, still trying to finish Magpie Murders. Good Lord, if I don't get on this, then PBS is going to take it off my passport. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble getting through that series, because I didn't have trouble getting through that book at all. Thanks for watching and listening to me ramble on today. I did want to say that I'm going to try in the month of August to be more present on social media, because I'm not typically very present on social media, at least not about bookish things. I share a lot about my dogs or my foster dogs. I share a lot about my kids or my grandkids. And I'm also checking out Storygraph now. So I'm going to see if I like that, because Goodreads has so many limitations. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, at some point in the near future, so watch for it, I'm going to post, ask me some questions on Instagram. And I'm opening this up for you to do that in the comments today as well, if you want to do that. I've seen other booktubers do this. I do think that I might ramble on about things that you care less about. Of course, within reason, I will answer almost all of your questions, but you guys are the most amazing people. So I have no fear about that. And a new recommendation that I'm really thrilled about, and I can't wait to try to get my hands on, is Garlic and the Vampire, which is the first in a series. And it is a graphic novel about a clove of garlic. So Garlic has a number of friends in the neighborhood, including Carrot and the kindly witch Agnes, which is kind of amusing because I have a dog named Agnes that can be a little bit troublesome sometimes. And Garlic agrees to face this vampire. I think there's some kind of a community garden or a fresh market or something involved. And I want to read it first because I heard that kids love it, and I want to perhaps pass that on to my granddaughter. But I want to take a look at it first just to make sure it's not too much, but I don't think it will be. I think it's going to be really, really super cute. So Garlic and the Vampire by Bree Paulson is my, like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this read. Isn't that funny? There's kind of an underlying theme today, maybe you noticed, and that's like-minded people. I think that like-minded people do congregate typically. And I think that when we find people that we feel comfortable with, then we stick with those people. And that, to me, is one of the reasons why book clubs work, why other groups and gatherings work. It's why people recommend books and you feel at home with those recommendations, or you feel equally able to say, yeah, no, that isn't for me, or no, that doesn't work. But what's most important to me is that I feel like I have created, by accident, by magic, by serendipity, whatever it is, I have created this following of subscribers that are like-minded people. For the most part, I really feel like we like a lot of the same things. Like you, somehow I resonate with you. And when I interact with you, you resonate with me too. I cannot wait to have more subscribers on my channel. I think we all want that. You know, it's kind of the mark of success, like we're doing something right. It's not about monetization for me. It's not about that at this point in my life. It's really about connecting with people virtually. And I'm just so grateful for each of you. And I'm just so proud of how we all create these little communities in whatever way we do. And all the content creators that I follow, you know, if I resonate with them, really appreciate all of you and your comments and your loyalty and your encouragement and your friendship. And so thank you very, very much for being a part of my little like-minded community here on YouTube. And as always, happy reading. Bye.